Welcome back for another video on Tower Defense X, and today I'll be showing you a full showcase of expert mode, talking about like every single wave mechanic, every single bosses, what they do. We will explain this at the end, but then I will explain every wave mechanic, every single enemies that we will encounter. This is nothing unusual, but this is not compared to other game modes, such as like not compared to easy and intermediate or elite. No, this is actual Emerald Fuel. But this is like actually the 5th hardest game mode in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Compared to Ultra Nightmare. But most rather, what? I'll be showing you every single wave mechanic and how to counter these enemies the easiest way. So first, for expert, you need a strong loadout. Talking about golden towers. For example, I want a tower that gives like extra HP, such as shield. So I'm gonna get shield. It is not very recommended to get shield, but it's up to your choice. It's just for a showcase, alright? And second, I want to get like air detection. Get a turret. And I want, because mainly anti-air turret is gonna be a massive AoE changer, because first his AoE damage on the top does higher than AoE than the bottom path, because it has a burst size of 8 and a splash radius of 4. But each rocket does like 558 damage. But the only disadvantage with this path is the minimum range. Like 40 minimum range, but 184 range. Bottom path, though, is mainly made for DPS in close range. Such as later on waves, which I'm going to show later. So we're gonna get anti-air turret, and I'm gonna get golden juggernaut for insane amount of DPS. You see, golden juggernaut is gonna be an actual game changer for an expert, because majority of these enemies have bullet resistance. So this might as well get a golden jug, because he has the ignore golden resistance, or the IGR as I say it. IGR stands for ignore golden resistance. So we're gonna get golden jug. And I want something that gives money, such as farm, oil derrick, which I don't have, and golden mobster. And mobster, the normal mobster. But we're gonna go for golden mobster because he can carry the early games. And now I want a tower that is air and that cannot be attacked. Well, sorta, by the majority of these enemies. I'm gonna get a helicopter. Helicopter has this one advantage. Yeah. Because bottom max, it does get stealth. Although, if you do get on the top, though, their bullets are explosive. I don't know if this kit get effective. Wait a minute. You know, it does heavily more damage. Because you see, this helicopter has not only rockets and Hellfire rockets, but it does have anti-air rockets, which does like, I don't know, I think like 600 DPS or something. I forgot how many DPS, but it does like a lot. So we are gonna get a heli. And lastly, we want something that has high DPS that can rebuild. XWM turret. XWM turret can be a great choice because if she dies, she doesn't like vanish out of existence like other towers. No. Exhibiting toward this program to when she dies, she rebuilds. Yes. So we are gonna get XWM. So this is our layout. Let's go onto a map. I don't know on what map I should do this though. Maybe oil rig or something similar to oil rig. Something not too long compared to oil field. Like I think I'm gonna go with oil rig, such as usual, because I'm used to. All right, so shut the fuck up. Alright, now there we are. So first, I'm gonna get my golden mobs to the middle. Like towers that can get for earlies, such as not placing farm, it is most likely advised to get some early defenses. Anyways, for our first enemy, oh my god, game below please, thank you. For our first enemy, nothing unusual. Some normals with 16 HP. Towers such as golden mobster that doesn't have burst, this, of course, can handle these. But with a catch. You see, some enemies can become overwhelming later on. So that's why you need DPS. Damage per second for prediction. So if I do, example, like I do 8 damage, but my tower does 9.6 damage a second. Now we're gonna go on the bottom path to get extra money. Each time it reloads. On wave 3, you're getting introduced to the quicks. They were introduced in wave 2 though, and I forgot to show them. But on wave 3, they will get introduced, but mainly they were introduced in wave 2, but there's only a single one, and I think I missed it. I think I'm blind. Anyways, quicks are a slightly faster version of the normal zombies. They have 16 HP base, but they're faster and can get overwhelming later. On wave 4, some quicks and some slows, which have 50 HP each. They have 10% to bullet resistance, 30% to fire resistance, 20% to explosive resistance, and 25% to laser resistance. Laser towers are kind of recommended for not kind of recommended for this, because they're kind of they will struggle if these are stacks. So tower that does like damage, bullet damage type, such as like ranger on the bottom path, they can ignore the bullet resistance, or artist towers such as, I don't know, tower that is dead bullet type. On waves 5, nothing unusual, some quicks and some normals, but other than that, nothing unusual. On wave 6, couple of slows, wait, a lot of slows, and some quicks. But towers such as like golden mobster for earlies, A couple of golden mobs can handle these. But they can get overwhelming later. Like I said, like this. This can get overwhelming. So that is why I'm gonna place a helicopter. See, compared, they can get higher damage if you combine those together. On wave 7, you'll get introduced to the ex-soldier, which is bulky, not very bulky in explosive resistance and bullet resistance, but can damage your towers. They doesn't target air, although that does exclude the fact they can target airs in Ultra Nightmare. But in Expert they can't, only in their Ultra. But yet again, tower that has like high HP, they will be able to resist the shots of the ex-soldier. Ex-soldiers are kind of bulky in HP though. 225 HP. But other than that, easy. On wave 9, you'll get introduced to the exosuit zombies. Almost immune to bullet resistance. It's 50% to ice resistance and 10% to golden resistance. Golden resistance and laser resistance are kind of the same thing, because golden towers shoot laser bullets. Well, I'm not 100% sure, because the gun that Golden Mobster is holding is red, so technically it's laser. Because they're none other than a gun that shoots red stuff is laser. On wave 10, you'll get introduced to the Heavy Titan with a whole whopping 725 HP, 50% to bullet resistance, 20% to laser resistance, and 30% to melee resistance. Melee resistance is only affected on Slimer for now. My helicopter won't do much for this wave. Better than nothing. I mean, it's cooking, but I might want as well get the on wave 9. What am I saying? On the wave 11, you'll get introduced to the air enemies, the skull drones. They're not very big of a problem if you don't have tower close to the path. You see, these skull drones are programmed to attack towers that are sticking the edge of the path, similar to the Ravage in Endless mode. Wait a minute, what did I bring helicopter in anti-air? Helicopter is literally moving everywhere. So why did I bring a... Oh my goodness, I'm stupid. Rather, what's the point? You get the point. Now my helicopter's 2-2, so... On wave 12, some stealth quick. You might as well get stealth detection before wave 12, or you might get in some troubles. But Golden Mobster gets stealth detection on first level of the bottom path, so it's not big of a deal. And some skull drones send in, but they're not big of a deal if you do have the right detections. Let me handle these flying threats. I need like stealth detection. Like this one right here. I want to try to get it before wave. Wait, I'm not gonna spoil it yet. Because there's that one wave coming up soon. On wave 14, get introduced to the famous old Grenadier. You guys might be familiar with that guy from Legacy Expert, and also Budzarda sent in. I think they were introduced last wave, but they're basically flying turrets, but a lot more tankier. So it is advised to get stuff that does a lot more damage and has flying detection. But other than that, for Grenadiers, set this thing on weakest. See, Golden Mobster does struggle with these enemies. And my heli won't be able to take care of these. Well, it can, but I'm gonna need to get the level. Oh, wait. Let me handle this first. Oh wait, there's the unit of the Golden Mobster. Oh wait, forget what I said. I'm gonna handle these flying threats. On wave 16, nothing unusual, some heavy titans, and Revived Bus One. You might be familiar with these. And some exosuit zombies. But next wave, this is where real stuff begin. On wave 17, you'll get introduced to the Jumper. As its name says, he jumps across the map. Two of them will emerge, one stealth and one regular. For the stealth variant, it is advised to get some quote-unquote stealth detection, because this guy can kill you very easily. On wave 18, you'll get introduced to the Super Heavy Titan. 50% to bullet resistance, 20% to laser resistance, and golden resistance, and 35% to melee resistance. And some jumpers are sent it as well. And a Buzzard. But other than that, as long as they aren't explosive proof, helicopter can handle this thing. Let's get a shield down. On wave 19, just pure stealth threat. It is advised to most likely get stealth detection and air stealth detection. Like towers such as like helicopter on the bottom path or top path level 3, or a anti-air turret on the bottom path. It will get either, I don't know which path it is already, but it will gain the stealth detection. But yet again, as long as you have the right detection, you're fine. On wave 20, you'll get introduced to the speed deployer. As his name displays, he throws speed pads across the map, well, on the map, to boost up enemy by 70% by giving them a 70% speed boost if they walk onto the speed pad. But after a certain amount of time, this speed pad quote-unquote explodes, and I think it damaged nearby towers. Let me get more damage. See, I do my mobster do start struggling with these. I'm gonna try to get that one Bouncer Seeker. On wave 21, you'll get introduced to the Revive It Smasher. Bulky in just melee resistance, but other than that, he is very easy to kill. But he has two abilities. First, he can smash on the ground to stun and damage your towers. But second, he can kill your units. Like, straight kill your units. But some ex-soldiers, slows, and skull drone are sitting in as well. As long as you have the right detection, like before, you're fine. On wave 22, you might be aware of towers that can fly like heli, because the Purgatory is introduced, which mainly targets aircraft. Or, well, can target. Yeah, you see? He just shot his two missiles because he has two abilities. His first one being he can target the ground targets. Second of all, his second one being able to target air enemies, air towers. But is he hard to deal with? Nope. Depend if you have the right resistance, because you see, I do place XW and turrets. Of course you're gonna shoot my helicopter. On wave 23, nothing unusual, some jumpers, stealth and normal jumpers. Right detection. And you're safe. Anything other than that, nothing unusual. Wait, what am I doing? Let me get another one of these. On wave 24, some super heavy titan with shield, and some stealth X soldiers with a speed deployer, and revived boss one, and a couple more of these super heavy titans. But other than that, nothing unusual. On wave 25, you'll get introduced to the Bounded. Bounded is an enemy that needs to be killed fast, because he seems to be walking slow, but as you can see on his arms, he has a timer. If that timer goes out, he starts running like a revived abomination, or an abomination, we could say like that. Like, he runs fast. On wave 26, nothing unusual. some stealth jumpers, and some super heavy titans, and some buzzards, and speed deployers, and revived boss ones. Let me try to get that one stealth Comanche, so my helicopter won't take damage from purgatories. And some smashers are sent in as well. With as well ex-soldiers. Revived smashers aren't big of a deal if you do have the right stuff. He almost punched that guy though. On wave 27, get introduced to the Revived Smasher. Bulky in HP, but not bulky in as such many known resistance. Although being aware of the collision resistance, which for you guys don't know, the collision resistance only affects units. Maybe we should upgrade the shield. Oh, this stupid. Oh, there's well some armored runners and quicks are sent in as well. You might be guys familiar with the armored runners from Legacy Experts. But just kill me that purgatory, or else my helicopter will die. Please. Thank you. On wave 28, nothing unusual. Multipliers with just a single multiplier one with a revived monster, and a. Is this supposed to be stealth? Oh, because the Comanche reveals stealth, and with a quote-unquote stealth bounded, but with a Comanche, this won't be as big of a deal because I can reveal them. And some Buzzword, which I'm gonna get rid of them right now. On wave 29, you'll get introduced to, you know, mine known as the Roblox the Predator. You might be familiar with this guy in Endless and the other mode I forgot, Intermediate. This time it sends 2 predators instead of 3. And some purgatories, which are and some pilots. Pilots are going to be a huge game changer later. But other than that, get 3 helicopters for the next wave. Because next wave, you're most likely need DPS. Let me introduce you to Phobos, the guy of Explosive, and bulky health. Zeus, the guy of Electricity, throws a sword and do electricity damage. And you got Artemis, the laser guy. Is a flying boss, but he can be easily dealt with flying towers and maze, such as you can see. Artemis just have 50,000 health and 10,000 shield. But other than that, give me the money. He can't mainly attack helicopters. I forgot this guy exists. Oh, be aware. Once Phobos dies, you might want to back up because he blows up, which kills towers. Well, damage towers. You get the point. Zeus enter his rage mode, but it's totally different for Zeus. Zeus, when he explodes, he doesn't kill towers. He just doesn't do anything. For Artemis, though, that's a different story. On his rage mode, oh, there's a revived monster. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh! Oh wait, that doesn't wait, what did he just did? Also, this guy kills your towers once he dies. So he's gonna back off. Kaboom. Which reveal in a long range. Okay, max XWM. On wave 31, nothing unusual. Revived Smashers, bounded. A couple bandeds. Might start getting more helicopters. Let's get bottom path helicopters. Oh, wave 32. Get introduced to the Titan Charger. Bulky in laser and golden resistance and collision resistance. Almost immune to collision resistance. Best bet is to use tower that doesn't shoot one of these. And as well, some pilots are sent in, but as long as you have tower that can deal with these, such as helicopter, anti-air turret, or XWM, you're fine. On this wave, some Titan Chargers are sent in, and a lot of revived monsters. When I mean a lot, I mean like 50 of them. And some Purgatories. Just to completely just annoy you. I mean money. Oh, and as well, there's a bounded in here. You guys can see it. I'm gonna try to get rid of that dude, because he can be big of a threat if I don't kill him in time. You saw? So what he just did? His timer ran out, and now he's running for it. But enough DPS, we'll be able to get rid of that dude. I'm getting some anti-airs ready, because there's that one wave coming soon. On wave 34, jumper rush, normally which they're stealth, but my helicopters do reveal them. None of a deal. Have the right DPS and right stealth detection, you should be fine, unless you have helicopter max bottom path. We'll make it quick work for this. On wave 35, you're getting introduced to another flying boss called the VX drone. which has 100,000 HP and 50,000 shield, which although immune to 30% to collision resistance, but if you do have the right anti-air DPS, you're fine. But this guy is a tower destroyer. What I mean by that, he does crazy damage, not only because when he's flying, but when he dies. Yeah, big. Not big damage. That depends if you're close to it. On wave 36, a wave of pilot rush will be sent in, like a lot of them, as you guys can see. There's like approximately 40 of them. Approximately. On wave 37, you'll get introduced to the X-Juggernaut, bulky and pretty much a lot of resistance, but he is a tower incinerator, so you might want to get rid of this guy real quick. Some helicopters will make it quick work, but as well as that, nothing unusual. Some revive smashers, revive monsters, and purgatories. On 38, which is at least one of the worst wave, a spam of revived abominations with speed deployers, so might you want to handle this wave fast, or else you might want to get cooked. But they don't have extra HP or nothing. They have regular HP, but they can get overwhelming if you don't handle these in time. On wave 39, X-Juggernauts and X-Ordinals, which are a new enemy introduced, which are a upgraded version of the X-Soldiers, as they're right there, which have higher resistance and higher HP and does higher damage. And which one he's shooting? Yeah, heavy damage. But other than that, some X-Juggernauts and X-Soldiers are sent in. Yeah, X-Jugs can be deadly. You might want to handle these fast. But with the right DPS, you should be fine. On wave 40, you're getting introduced to another boss called the Destructor. With, I think, I forgot how many HP. Yeah, 675 HP, 1000 HP, I mean, and 250,000 shield. This boss has powerful abilities which kill units and towers, and as you might have guessed it, this boss can fly. Yes, this boss flies like this. But this boss is quick work if you have the right DPS. And as well if the X drone is sent in, but as well if you do have the right anti-air DPS, you should be fine. I handle Destructor because he's more deadlier. Upon reaching half health, yeah, I forgot to mention this. Destructor. Well, I forgot to. I actually forgot. I'm actually kind of stupid. Below 337 HP, 1000 HP, he will fly off in the air and do a holy landing, screaming, which means he's entered his rage mode. Whee! By the way, once landing, he kills units, as you guys might have guessed it. Oh, he's gonna kill my heli. Yeah, he can kill your helis, but depending on what level they are. Uh oh, uh oh, uh oh, uh oh. This boss cannot regen compared to Eradicator Mark II. Flies off. I'll be able to kill him. Oh! Yeah, also fun fact, this guy doesn't like anti-airs. Your best bet is placing them far out. Up close to the Destructor itself. But he doesn't, when he dies, he doesn't explode. He just dies. Loses arm and boom. Nice, that was Destructor. Now up to wave 41. Some not unusual, but although now we're gonna choose to Dr. Xenon onto wave 41, which is kind of annoyed of Advisor spoiling her surprise, we're gonna say. She explained us she studied about her previous Eradicator Mark II and upgraded to the absolute limit. To completely eradicate their GDA. And our wave 42, as you might have expected, here comes Eradicator Mark II Plus. With 250,000 HP, the shield, and a 1.4 million HP. Here's a design up close. This guy has a ton multiple new abilities. Oh yes, this guy can reveal stealth. I forgot to say. But you saw that ability when he did the stomp. Well, that he can reveal air enemies. He can also call for. As I was saying, he can call for air backup. But as long as you do have... Oh yes, this is one of his ability. It's a bit similar to the visual interfer system, which goes stealth. Oh, there's the drones. You might want to handle these fast because these drones, some of the drone attacks, some of the drone heals. And as well like before, he throws flames. But upon reaching half HP, like before, upon reaching half HP, when he will do it, like this, he will lose his armor, scream in the air, starting by shooting his miniguns, spinning as well, after he shoots his rockets, killing. Alright, that's alright if you do kill all my DPS. Damn. Let's get our AODPS ready. Yeah, there's the quick fun fact, he doesn't do the visual interference system until he is on his second phase. What are you gonna do, buddy? Might want to replace my AAs in case you decide to recall these drones. Oh wait, no, he can't. Because fun fact, once he loses his armor, he loses majority of his abilities, except this one. Bro is not going stealth. Gonna shoot your rockets because you're mad. Bruh. Like, Eradicator Mark II Plus is no joke compared to Eradicator Mark II. Like the regular Mark II. Upon being defeated, no! Oh, Jesus Christ! Holy... I know I'm dying to this. Alright, now I'm gonna explain it. If you don't shield back up. Alright. Upon being defeated, Eradicator Mark II will scream, lose one of his arms, but then he will try to shoot with his left arm, but doesn't work and explodes, and then, you know what? He does explode into a million pieces. Upon defeating Expert, you'll get rewarded with gems, gold, and XP. And tokens if you're doing a battle pass. But that was a full showcase of Expert Mode. Took me 42 minutes, just a regular run with the towers I had. If I had War Machine, that took me less time. And as well, it rewards you with some power-ups. Now I am gonna show you the ability of the bosses. The bosses that we encountered. Alright. That was a full showcase. Now I'm going to show you the bosses themselves. Starting with Predator. You might be used to... hello? Oh, thank you. Jeez. Alright, you might be used to Predator. 35,000 HP, average, walk speed of 2.4. He's stun immunity, toxic blast resistance, and he is resistant to the spotter resistance, which is effective to the combat drone. His ability. He might be decimation, shoot the most recently upgraded offensive tower in his short range, dealing 600 damage, falls off with distance. That's include warship. Yes. Predator can attack warship. Yes. Don't ask me why. And his second ability, triple shot, shoot 3 random offensive towers in his range, in his short range, with shot dealing 100 damage, falls off with distance. That's Predator. Now I'm gonna pass to Phobos, the guy from earlier. Phobos has a health system, you know what I mean? So on solo, he has 85,000 health and 52,000 shield. He is at walk speed of average. He has stun immunity, toxic blast resistance, and a spotter resistance. He is 100% to fire resistance and 100% to ice resistance, and 85% to the collision resistance. But now his abilities. Shielded dash. Puts his shield up and charge, gaining fully stun immunity. Fully stun immunity, I'm gonna explain what is this. The fully stun immunity makes it able so the bosses or enemies, bosses only, cannot be stunned, even though your towers has the ignore stun immunity. He cannot be stunned. They cannot be stunned. Multiple bosses has this feature. And increase his speed boost, his speed to extremely fast for 4 seconds. Cooldown of 30 seconds. Searing shield. Puts his shield up and gain a red force field, gaining 6,500 shield, decreasing his speed to stationary. What? And becoming invulnerable. Invulnerable means he cannot take any damage for 3 seconds. Cooldown of 15 seconds. Solar wind. Spray towers with his dual flamethrowers right here. Applying an afterburner that does 100 DPS for 3.33 seconds. 100 DPS can be a lot if you do imagine. So I mean it does 100 damage a second. The coronal ejection. Fires a grenade at the most expensive tower, dealing 4,775 damage twice, and applying an afterburner that does 73 DPS for 3 seconds, which is quote-unquote 73 damage per second. And you got finally the supernova. This is most likely after he's being defeated. Screams before exploding, killing towers and units in a 3-star radius, dealing 500 damage. Wait, no, it's 500 to 2,150 damage in a 10-star radius, with damage decreasing based on a distance from the explosion affected airborne towers and units. Usage criteria upon death. So that's Phobos. Now I'm gonna pass to Zeus, the electric guy. So in solo and duo, he is 75,000 HP and 42,000 shield. His movement speed is average. Stun immunity, toxic blast resistance, spotter resistance, and this boss is fully immune to the stun immunity. Like, I'm gonna show it right now. Oh wait, no. Wait, do I need to click on it? They were meaning something about the anyways, you get the point. Fully stun immunity means he cannot be stunned. That's including the combat drone PAVE missile, which normally does ignore the bullet the bullet resistance. What am I saying? The stun resistance. But once you can't know if they're fully stunned, you just have to figure that out. But they are fully stun immune, so that means they cannot get stunned. They always just move. He is 35% to explosive, 25% to laser, 25% to golden, and 75% to collision. Here's the ability: lightning cleave. Slashes forward with his sword twice, which each slash inflicted a stun, which stun towers, and deals 625 damage in a small radius. Cooldown of 3 seconds. Storm Shock. Points his sword upward and discharge lightning from it, jamming towers, including airborne ones, applying a 433% reload time penalty for 4 seconds. Holy. Initial cooldown 5 seconds. Cooldown of 50 seconds. Searing Bolt. Fire laser at up to 3 towers around him. Around him from the tip of his sword, including airborne ones, dealing 267 DPS for 0.66 seconds, which include 267 damage a second, or effectively 400 damage. Metal Thunderbolt. Throw his sword at an airborne tower. Yes, of course. I don't know if you saw him did that, but sometimes he does throw his sword at an airborne tower, dealing 430 damage plus the 40% of its HP. Initial cooldown of 5 seconds, cooldown of 45 seconds. And the dwarf lowers his head and picks it back up, healing 10,000 HP. Usage critic area upon failing or below half of its health. So that's Zeus. Now we have Artemis, the flying boss, which shoots lasers. In solo, he has 50,000 HP and 10,000 shield. He is fully stun immunity. Yeah, what am I saying? Stun immunity, toxic blast resistance, spotter resistance, and he's airborne, which means he's a flying yellow shit. He is 25% to explosive, 25% to laser, and 30% to collision. He has Can you close this little... I have to do it like that. This can work. Alright. Searing Beam. Fires a laser at the most expensive tower for 3 seconds, dealing 833 plus 17% of a tower's health in DPS, which is quote-unquote equals to 830 damage a second. Effectively... Oh, never mind. No, never mind. 2,500 plus 50% of a tower's health for 3 seconds. Yeah, no, this is not compared to something we shouldn't talk about. Cooldown 20 seconds. Wrapped in Iron Deluge. Deluge, no, not Delunge, Deluge, my bad. I'm kinda messed up. Rapidly fire 5 plasma balls at the most expensive towers in a medium range, with which each ball dealing 700 damage plus 10% of its health. I don't know what's that equals to. Initial cooldown of 4 seconds. 4 seconds, I said full second. And a cooldown of 27 seconds. High energy onslaught. Fire 10 plasma balls at airborne towers. In a medium range, with each plasma ball dealing 300 damage plus 10% of its tower's health. Retarget if the current target dies or sold if another tower is in her range. Usage critical at least one airborne tower in range. Warbling outburst. Wind winds up. Is it winds up or winds up? I'm gonna say winds up and discharge a blast of electricity. Jesus, jamming and applying a 433% repellently in a large radius for 3 seconds. Real time of 35 seconds. Hunter Frenzy. This was his rage mode. Spins around and fires lasers at up to 12 random towers, with range dealing 790 DPS for 3.4 seconds, which does 790 damage a second, which is equals to 2750 damage total. Usage criteria upon falling to or below 30,000 HP, because Artemis only has 50k. And Dive Bomb, which is his death, flies around before crashing onto the ground, insta-killing towers in a 6x, I don't know, stud radius, dealing 100 damage within 17 stud. Usage upon death. So that's Artemis. Now we have the flying drone, also known as the VX drone. He has 100,000 HP as we saw earlier, and 50k shield. Slightly slow. Wait, Artemis, how fast he was? Average? Are they all average? They're all average. He has slightly slow stun immunity, toxic blast resistance, spotter resistance, and he's airborne. He has none of these resistance except the collision one for 30%. Now here's the ability. Ventral beaming. Stops to fire a red laser at up to 2 towers, and this includes unit dealing a how many, and the price is right, DPS I do not know. Initial cooldown of 3 seconds, and I think that's the first ability he did once. I think you guys all saw, but I think that's the first ability he did once he entered. And a cooldown of 25 seconds. Dorsal ordnance. Is that the? Am I correct? Dorsal ordnance stops to fire a red. Oh, we saw that one. Stops to fire a red mortar shell at the most expensive tower, of course, dealing 900 damage plus 20% of their tower's maximum health. That's a lot. Initial cooldown of 10 seconds and 15 cooldown of 50 seconds. Hot wire. This is his rage mode. Rolls increase its speed to average. Why does every enemy has an average speed boost? What? Can I ask a question? Usage criteria upon falling to under 50,000 HP or below. And you get the Mayday. This is the death. Slowly descend onto the ground before exploding on contact, dealing 800 damage within a 40 stud radius, with damage decreased based on distance. You see? It's based on distance. So example, you have a tower far enough from its death zone down to 100. But if they're close enough, they'll get like almost one hit, depending their HP. If they're like below 800 health, they're just done. So that's the VX drone. Next we have the other big robot we saw earlier, the Destructor. He has 675,000 health and 255,000 shield in solo only. In other mode, in other case, yeah, he has a lot of health. Let me just not get disconnected because I want to keep the music. Movement speed too slow. Attributes: he has stun immunity, toxic blast resistance, and a spotter resistance as once more. 50% bullet resistance. 15. Did I say 50 or 15? You get the point. 15% to bullet resistance, 50% to fire resistance, 25% to explosive resistance, and 75% to collision resistance. Now we are moving up on the... Oh, holy! We have a lot of abilities. So first, the ability Crimson Cyclone. Raise his arms into the air, summoning a red cloud of lightnings above himself, the man himself. Cast lightning onto up to 9 towers and units, including airborne ones, dealing 783 DPS for 2.3 seconds, which is equal to 783 damage a second for 2.3 seconds. Initial cooldown for 3 seconds, cooldown of 50 sec. Soar and Smash flies up in the air to traverse 35 stud forward onto the path before landing and dealing 800 damage, killing units in a medium radius around where he lands. Additionally, is untargetable and invulnerable until he lands, similar to the jumpers. Usage upon at least 35 studs from the base. Initial cooldown of 5 seconds, cooldown of 60 seconds. Destructive discharge. Lean his head back, the shriek emitting a burst of a hot pink spark that instantly kills nearby. What do you mean kills? Oh, because I wasn't actually so close to him. That instantly kills any nearby airborne towers in a small radius, applying a 400% reload time penalty to... Wait, it says applying 400% real-time penalty to mechanical towers in a large radius. Affected towers that are shrouded in particles of light, like a jammer. Usage upon at least one mechanical tower in range. That's included the helicopter. Cooldown of 45 seconds. Quadruple destruction. Reveal his shoulder cannon and shoots the strongest tower twice, with each blast dealing 500 damage plus 15% of their maximum health twice. Retarget if original tower dies, or sold if another is in range. What I mean by that is, if example, if like the helicopter dies. Oh no, there's another variant. Hold on, no, let me restart. This variant is mainly due to if he targets like a tower that has been sold, he will not shoot again to shoot air. Nada. To shoot nothing. Nada. He will target another one. Now we have the quadruple destruction again, but aerial takedown variant. This is for mainly anti-airs, such as helicopter. Reveal his shoulder cannon and shoot the strongest aerial tower twice, dealing blast of each blast dealing 200 damage each, and 10% of their maximum health. Retarget if original target dies, or sold if another one is in range. X decimation. Shoots the strongest tower with one of his palm in bend laser cannon, removing the medic Uber and inflicting a short stun immunity, ignoring stun, as well as 1500 damage. And he has a cooldown of 30 seconds when he does his ability. And the Fighting Retreat becomes invulnerable to damage, flies into the air, and after 6 seconds drop back down onto the ground, dealing 1000 damage to towers and instantly killing units if in a medium stun radius, while also resetting all of his ability cooldown, becoming untargetable until he lands. Usage upon failing to 340,000 HP or below. Oh, that wasn't 337 HP. My bad. And finally, we have the final boss, Eradicator Mark II Plus. So he has two variants. I'm going to show you the other variant later. So he has 1,450,000 health and 250,000 shield. He has a movement speed of average. He has stun immunity, toxic blast resistance, and spotter resistance. He is immune to fire to up to 50%, explosive to 30%, laser and golden to 20%, and collision to 30%. Up to the abilities now. Alright, let me reset on my chair, hold on. So first we have the dual Vigimol shots. Fire 22 rockets from his rocket pods at random towers in his range, each dealing 425 damage and 5% of their maximum health in a medium radius. Cooldown of 70 seconds. We have the same ability, but the anti-air variant. Fires 22 rockets from his pods at random aerial towers in his range, each dealing 250 damage, plus 15% of their maximum health in a medium range. Usage upon at least one aerial tower on a map, depending where it is. Cooldown of 85 seconds. Hexa-barreled destruction. Shoot his minigun at a tower while turning in an arc, dealing 600 DPS plus 28% of the tower's maximum health in DPS, effectively 1,000 with 1400 DPS, 1400 damage, and plus 65% of a tower's health in its area of effect. Usage upon at least 2 towers costing at least well over $800 in range. Cooldown of 70 seconds. Emergency repair system. This annoying system stops in place before discharging a lavender pulse, giving himself 250,000 HP and 25,000 shield. Initial cooldown to 25 seconds and 60 60-second cooldown. Pyrotechnics Mark II Plus. Sprays tower with his mouth, embedded flamethrowers in an arc, applying an afterburner that deals 650 DPS for 3.5 seconds, equivalent to 650 damage a second. Usage upon at least 2 tower costing at least, upon $800 in range. Cooldown of 30 seconds. Focus Bullet Storm. We saw this ability a couple of times. Fire his miniguns at the closest and most expensive towers, dealing 11,500 DPS for 4.5 seconds, equivalent to 11,500 damage a second. Usage at least 1 tower costing well over $50,000 on the map. This includes Warship. I don't know if you can target Warship. Cooldown of 70 seconds. Aerial Assault. We saw this ability once, I think. Shoots a flare. If you don't know where his flare is, it's that red little dot right there. I think you guys see it. That little red dot right here. That's his flare. Shoots a flare in the air, spawning 3 missile drones and 2 healing drones. The healing drones are actually deadly because they can heal it back. The boss, similar to Emperor from Nightmare Mode. Usage must not have already underwent the explosive excavation, which we're gonna get in a couple seconds. A couple minutes, I mean. Cooldown of 40 seconds. Executal Hailstorm. Stomps onto the ground, inflicting a stun immunity ignoring stun, and a medium radius, affecting airborne towers, and fires 60 missiles from his back, mounted missile pod array, and at random spots around him, with each missiles doing 300 damage and plus 15% of their maximum health in a small radius. Yes, literally, this must have already underwent this ability. At least 3 towers in its range. Cooldown of 20 seconds. Same ability, but for naval. Talking about naval towers. Fires 60 missiles from its back and mounted missile pod array at the warship. with the most range, each missile dealing 50 damage. For real? Wait, 50? He fires 60 missiles and each of them deals 50. Jeez, alright. So that's equivalent. If fire 60 missiles equivalent to 50 damage is equivalent to at least 300 damage. And Mustad underwent, you know what? And at least one warship costing at least well over $100,000 placed down. Cooldown of 60 seconds. Ballistic Blast. Fires a missile from his back-mounted trio missile launcher at the most expensive tower, dealing 12,000 damage in a small radius. Must not already underwent, you know what? Cooldown of 30 seconds. What's the name of that one? Ternary Strike Down. Fires 3 missiles from his back-mounted trio of missile launchers from the farthest and most expensive aerial tower. Each missile doing 300 damage in a small radius. Must not underwent, you know what? And at least one airborne tower costing at least $15,000 exist. What do you mean exist? Cooldown of 70 seconds. Same. This is the same ability, but for naval towers this time. Fires 3 missiles from his back-mounted trio of missile launchers at the highest range warship, with each missiles doing 28,000 damage each, which is total to 85,000 damage. Switches target if its current target dies or sold, or if it is sold. That's not compared to Mark IV. Must not underwent, you know what? And at least one warship costing at least well over $100,000 placed down. Cooldown of 25 seconds. Here it is. Explosive Exuviation. Let me show the form of explosive. See the difference? That's the form of his explosive exuviation. Do you see the difference? Like, he lost literally all his armor. And which means, like I meant, he lost like a lot of abilities, which include aerial assault, hexagonal hailstorm, the dynamo variant of that, ballistic blast, ternary strike down, and that's it. So the explosive exuviation generates a force field that nullifies 90% of the damage of all 90% of all damage before blasting off his armor and screaming into the air, inflicting a 12-second stun immunity ignoring stun and dealing 125 damage to all towers and unit afterwards spinning in a circular motion while shooting his miniguns, dealing 100 DPS for 6 seconds, which is equivalent to, yeah, a lot, to 2200 damage up to 2800 damage total. He will then scream again before dual vigesimal shots shortly after, inflicting a stun immunity ignoring stun for 4 seconds, increasing his speed to above average and spawning 7 missile drones and 3 healing drones. Finally, he he loses the ability are follows, but he gain the visual interference system, which is a stealth system. Usage upon falling under 45% of its health. Heals himself to 100. Oh no, it does. That's the other one. Visual interference system. Heals himself to 175,000 HP and becoming a stealth enemy for 10 seconds. Yeah, of course. Must have underwent explosive exuviation and a cooldown of 60 seconds. So if you guys don't know what he sounds like, let's see. Looks like more closer. I can show you more photos. Back. That's the back. That was the other front. That's the triple thing rocket launcher he was talking about. There's the missile pod. That's just like I don't know how many rockets already. That's the side. And that's the other side. Yeah, you see the flares right there. And there's some of the abilities aren't there, but I might as well show you some of them. So this one is the emergency reparation system, which yeah. This is the focused focused bullet storm. Yeah, like he just doesn't move. This is the aerial assault. This is the hexacontal hailstorm. We saw this ability a couple of times. This is the ballistic blast. There's the missile pod they're talking about. And there is the ternary strike down. Whee! But also we have the sound effect, but I won't play them because there is a lot. But for being damaged, let me show the damage variant if we do have it. Oh, there it is. So that's the variant for front. From the back. Do you guys ever notice like literally looks like the same Eradicator Mark II from like the Legacy version? But I never realized he had like wires onto his arm. But the jetpack stays the same. There's the close up from the sides. Also, fun fact, I don't know if you guys ever realized that, but when he walks, his missile pods move. And the abilities. Now we have a closer look of them. So that's the hexabarreled destruction. Similar to the Legacy one. This is the dual vigesimal shots. The famous rockets. Oh yeah, wait, you have the other variant where she shoots like the air towers. This is the Pyrotechnic Mark II, which is the fire. Holy! But the thing that does affect me is he does throw fire in the air, but airborne towers are just not affected by it. This is he doesn't although lose the focus bullet storm. there is the famous emergency repair system. And you have the good old visual interference system. So that was a full showcase of experts. That was a full showcase. If you want to see more showcase of each game mode in the future, make sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell to miss my content. And if I ever missed something about any enemies and any bosses, please feel free to comment down below and I'll ask you every question. Anyways, I'm not gonna bother you longer. Make sure to subscribe button, notification bell to miss my content, and I will see you in another one, guys. See ya!